Danielle here for Nellie and Clem, and I'm just going to kind of show you a sort of process video kind of thing of a layout or a TN, who knows, basically what I'm going to put together for RetroHip magazine, so yeah, for issue 12. So I'm basically undecided as to whether I want to do it as a layout or if I want to do it as a TN spread. But yeah, I'm kind of sort of show you kind of what I'm working on. So these are the colours I've kind of nabbed from the colour palette for this magazine, for the issue of this magazine. Lovely Andrea, who's RetroHipMama on Instagram, she's given us the sort of colour palette for the issue, and I just kind of went through my Felicity Jane papers and kind of picked out colours that kind of match with it. So she loves gingham, so yeah, and like plaid. So I found this really lovely black and white paper, and then there's like a red, and there was like a black and white floral kind of going on in the background, kind of muted floral, and there was kind of sort of mustardy yellow again, and I found one with this floral from Shea, and then like a soft pink, so and then there was kind of like a orangey kind of shade as well, but I kind of didn't have anything to go with that, so I've kind of just stuck with the ones that I kind of could kind of colour match. So yeah, so those are the papers for that. And then another kind of crazy thing I'm working on is this madness which I've kind of started. So let's see if I can do this. So we've got this girl, so that's the theme for the magazine for the issue, and what I've been doing is I've got these cool little my room creation station little wooden letters, which when my mum used to be a playgroup leader, her playgroup had these sort of really high kind of quality wooden letters, and yeah, they're like a massive part of my childhood, like really remember these, so this is kind of like a bodged version of them which you can buy just from Amazon. So I got those, and they're just kind of like slightly wonkily cut out, and then what I've been doing is wrapping thread around them to make these kind of cute little kind of thread wrapped letters, and then on the back I've just been using double-sided sticky tape to just kind of hold them down. And what I've been doing is well, I've got like a whole massive madness, but what I've been doing is picking like 3 kind of complementary colours and then weaving them around together. So like this one's got grey, black and white to kind of replicate this. Then I've got like 3 different shades of pink in these ones. There's 3 different yellows, and then I've got like this kind of orangey one. So yeah, I've kind of been doing that. So what I'll do is I'll kind of show you a little bit of how I've been doing that, because I've got 1 letter left to go. And then I will kind of like drop in and out to kind of show you what I'm up to, and also make a decision as to whether I want to do this as a TN or whether I want to do it as a layout. I'm thinking if I do it as a layout, I might do like a 12 by 9 or something. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just don't want it to be too big, you know. I know I don't want to do a 12 by 12 basically. So kind of how you start is just by kind of popping a tiny bit on the edge. It's going to be quite a hard letter to do, actually. I've just realised, because it's one with a circle in it. I had a real struggle with the G. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit painful. Save the worst till last. But yeah, you kind of just like, you could stick it down, but I've just been finding that once you kind of hold your finger on it and then loop the thread around a couple of times, then it's kind of, you're basically like holding it together itself. And then it's just a case of, I mean, there's no like rhyme or reason or logic to any of this. Just kind of, you know, threading away really. And what I've been doing is just kind of making sure that, making sure that I'm covering the kind of bits that, you know, see those kind of bits that are kind of hard to cover, like the ends and the edges. So if I do anything like that, I'm just making sure that I'm then kind of going around it, you know. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically covering the whole thing. I want to make sure that the whole letter is covered. Oops. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It can be quite fiddly in places, but yeah, so this bit's going to be quite difficult because what I'm going to have to do is kind of loop, whoops, through. So luckily I've got long nails at the moment, because if I didn't, this would be a pain in the butt. But yeah, so you see what I mean. And I'm pulling it tight the whole time as well, because obviously if you let it go slack, then it will you'll miss out, you'll potentially unthread part of what you've done already. So this is it really. This is basically what I've been doing with the other letters. And then once I've kind of got to the end of one thread, I'm just sort of using a tiny bit of double-sided sticky tape to hold that down, and then I'm immediately going over it with a different colour. So so yeah, so you basically end up with like a kind of sort of free tone kind of little 3D letter, which will be my title. So currently my thoughts are yeah, this will be the title, and then I've got these papers I'm thinking about cutting into like almost like a kind of like officey filing system to sort of have at the bottom of the page, and then like for each, and then have like a little divider tab on each section that sort of says something. So it sounds a bit mad, but like so obviously the title is This Girl, and then I want to kind of have like is, and then each tab will have a little kind of word that I think like describes me, and so that's kind of what I'm thinking, and each of those will be on like a kind of tab on the divider, so it's almost like a filing system of my personality traits almost. And then I have got these little plastic wallets. They're really small ones. They're kind of like the ones that you'd use on a like a pass if you work in an office where you have like those little swipe cards that you need to use to go through the building. You kind of have to like swipe them when you go through in the morning, and I've got a couple of those. So what I'm thinking is I might like put a little picture of me in it as almost like a kind of, and have it be this kind of like officey nod, if you sort of see what I mean. That's my current thinking anyway. So I've come to the end of that now. So what I've done is I've just making sure that the last piece I use puts it around the back of the letter, and then I've just got these tiny little pieces of double-sided sticky tape, and then I'm just literally taping it down with that. So I did think about using glue gun, but the only worry with that is, you know, it can go I'm a bit dangerous with glue guns, and they tend to go a bit rogue, so I might end up with it like smearing all over the edges and stuff. So I figure this is a more subtle, simple way of doing it. But you kind of see what I mean. So you start like this, and then obviously the next colour you choose, then you're kind of trying to, each time you go around, you're filling in the gaps that you didn't fill in previously. And then, yeah, the end result is you kind of end up with something like this, where you end up seeing all of the colours kind of showing through. So yeah, so I'm just going to carry on with that. You don't need to see me sat here doing that for forever. And then I'll be finished with my kind of wording. And then what I'll do next is make a decision as to whether I'm going to do this as a TN. I think I might end up doing it as a 9x12, because I just feel like that, you know, that's a whole TN page really, if you think about it. That's quite big. So so that would literally be like one page, you know. So yeah, I think I might do that. So I'll find my little plastic ID pass things so I can show you what they look like, and then I'll be back, and then I'll show you kind of how I'm going to put this together, and how I'm going to chop up my papers and do my kind of filing system, so you can understand and see what I'm banging on about. Okay. Right, I'll be back in a row then, guys. Bye. Okay, so I'm back, and I've finished, yay! So my art is now done. So all my letters are finished now, which is cool. And I've decided that I'm going to do a sort of A4 page spread rather than like a 12x12, or rather than a TN, just because this is so big. It's bigger than I thought it would be. So yeah, so I think on a TN it would look crazy. You know, I'm kind of pushing it on this, to be fair. So yeah, I kind of want to have this be like the busy thing at the top, and then have a busy thing at the bottom, and then keep everything as white as possible. That's kind of my plan. And then also, which is awesome, I these are little pocket things that I was talking about earlier, where I was saying like they're kind of like ID passes. I had this tag from a top that I brought, and on it was this black and white thread, so I just pulled it off, and it's got this little kind of thing. What is that? Oh my god, a pin? My brain. So but I thought, how cute is this? So basically, if I tie that through there, I have this little tiny pin, and I can like pin it onto my wording. I got really weirdly excited about that about 5 minutes ago. So how cute. So yeah, I thought that was just so sweet, this little tiny little pin, and I can just like pin it through my thread. So I'm really pleased with that. I mean, you're probably at home going, why are you so excited about that? But I really am. It was just one of those things that's quite sweet that, yeah, I was just looking for some black and white thread in my stash, and then I happened to come across this. I was just like, that is absolutely perfect, and I just think that's gonna look really cute, like pinned onto the girl, like wording. So yeah, so I've got that picture of me and Clem, and then I just kind of turned it into a little bit of a shaker pocket. So I've just got these as just like Felicity Jane sequins from a few different packs, so I've just kind of popped those in there with some of those little heart beads because they are delish. And then basically my next plan, part of me was wondering about maybe doing a little border. So I've got this black and white, I could do a little kind of border here, which might be quite cute. And then what I'm going to do is my tab bits. Basically, this is my really high tech and high quality idea about what I'm doing. But yeah, I think I'm going to make some little tabs, like files almost, all along the bottom. Layer these little pieces of paper up, and then basically have on each tab like a little thing about like me. So like this girl is, and then like, I don't know, creative, silly, you know, insane. But yeah, and then like have them on each little tab. So they're kind of like popping out, and then this will kind of like tuck in nicely and then be attached at the pin. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Bit crazy, but you know me, I can't do anything normal. So that's the current brainstorm. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to chop up my little bits and pieces and make my little tabs, and then I'll come back in and sort of, you know, try and sort those out, layer them up, and then that should hopefully just like tuck in nicely, like it's almost part of like the filing system. But yeah, that's my plan. I know sometimes you must watch what I'm doing and just think, what is your brain? And the answer is I don't really know. But that's fine. We're persevering. Maybe this is what cabin fever is. I've been inside for a week. I've gone stir crazy. I'm like, yeah, I want a filing cabinet and I want some filing systems. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm missing my office. Or not. But yes, who knows what is going on inside my head. But there you go, that's my plan anyway. So I'll return and we'll do some more choppy and yeah, I'll start doing the next bit. Okay, bye. Hello. So okay, I've chopped everything up now, so this is fun. I've done them in like varying levels. So I've just punched got this big tab punch, so I've just used that to kind of punch out these kind of little bits to pop on the edges. Boom, boom, boom. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little bits, and then my plan is to kind of have this like tucked in and then pinned on. So I've got to kind of glue those down as well. I think I'll just use double-sided tape to stick these down. Whoops. There, and then I've got varying sizes and thicknesses of foam pads, so I'm just going to like foam pad these down and bump them up, and then I've got just some cute little kind of puffy heart stickers, and then I've got like I might use that like happy so yeah, I was hoping there was ears in here, but there's not. There's a its, which is a shame. But I've got a few of these little puffies, so I might try and see if I can spell out some of the words on my tabs using these. I'm kind of, I say, I mean, it looks like I'm not thin on the ground, but I'm thin on the ground for certain letters, which is weird. So like I've got capital E's but no lowercase e's anymore, so I need to be a bit creative with how I'm gonna use what words I'm gonna use and how I'm gonna spell them. But yeah, so it might be a mix of uppercase and lowercase. And I need an is as well, which possibly, ooh, I've got an I, and I've got an S. So yeah, I can do a little white this girl is, and then with my words, and then my little thing will poke in. And then, yeah, and then I can just tart these little bits up with some kind of embellishment-y bits and bobs. And yeah, and then I'll be done so, which is exciting. So yes, so what I'll do is I'll go away because you don't need to see me foam padding. And when I come back, these will hopefully be like raised up a bit more 3D. I'll glue these down, and yeah, and then we'll be pretty much there, I think, guys. How exciting! Okay, I'll be back in a mo. Bye. Okay, and I'm back, and I've glued everything down and raised it all up, and I've got my little pin here to just pin in as well, which is fun. So everything's all glued down now. Let's see if I can, oops, uh-oh, this is what happens when you have coffee and you try and do something fiddly. Hey, there we go. My hands are all crazy. Cool. Okay, so that's real cute. So I've got that there. It's just sort of tucked in the little sequins. So that's sweet. So basically all that I've got my ears down. So basically all that's left now is just for me to pop my words down. So I was gonna do is, and I've got, oops, happy, because I am for the most part. I have got lovely, and I do call everyone lovely and say lovely a lot, so I'm going to stick that down, because it's very sweet. It's lovely, happy, lovely. I was wondering if I had, these out. Oops. Silly. Oops, might need to plonk everything along a bit. Silly. Might do uppercase L's. Don't know why. This girl is lovely, silly, happy. We got a crafty. Yes. I hope you've enjoyed watching this craziness. It's been fun to put together. It's one of those things that, you know, you kind of get a crazy idea sometimes and you're not entirely confident if it's actually gonna work. I tend to do that quite a bit, where I have like a crazy idea in my head, and then when I try to actually make it happen, you realise that it's either A, impossible, or B, just a lot of work. And I try not to give myself too much to do. She says while she's moving things along like painstakingly. But yeah, I try to keep it, you know, still something that anyone can do. I don't want to make anything ever that's ridiculously hard to replicate, because I kind of feel like, what's the point? I'm not really a sort of show person, where you're like, look at this amazing thing that I did and you'll never be able to do. Ha 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 ha, aren't I clever? Or just a case of, let's just make something that everyone can have a blast and have a pop at. Lovely, silly, crafty, happy, something else with a Y. They're all Y words. Really have lost all the good letters on here. Not got much left at all. Here's the only problem with that is I think it might be better not having that on a gingham. Okay. Used to be on a plain background, I think. Let's just bump this up a bit. Oops. Well, I hope you're all keeping well. Ooh, because it's obviously still very much crazy times outside. Not that anyone goes out there these days, but you know, it's all a bit hectic still. So I hope you're getting on okay and you've got, you know, all the bits and bobs in your house that you need, and you're all staying healthy and happy. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully this will all work out okay, and we'll oh dear, all manage to get better and back to work and back to life as usual and normal, you know, soon enough. It'll come round quick, I'm sure. We'll get there, guys. It's just a funny old time, isn't it? But on the plus side, you know, got all this creative time and everyone's spending more time with their family, and that's all nice, isn't it? That's all good stuff, you know. That's no bad thing to everyone's, you know. I've done more FaceTiming and speaking to people on the telephone than I've done for ages, so I think even if a couple of us are doing that, then, you know, that's still a lovely thing, isn't it? Let's try a round one. But yeah, I just think it's there are positives to come out of this, and if we can all try and see them, I think we'll get out of this a lot easier and a bit more intact mentally. How are we doing? We are losing light, aren't we? Core blimey, it's going. So yeah, I think we're kind of there, aren't we? We've got lovely, we've got silly, we've got crafty, we've got kind, and we've got happy. And my kind's bobbing around a bit, but it's there. So yeah, I think we're done. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm actually quite chuffed with this. It was just, yeah, totally bizarre idea. You know me, most of my ideas are pretty strange, pretty out there. But yeah, I just really wanted to do this this title, and then everything kind of came from there, really. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Just double checking that I've got no other bits and bobs. I want to maybe pop down. There's a red one there. Oops. Yeah. But yeah, I do really hope you all stay safe and well. safe and well. That's what we want. We want to be safe and happy little bunnies. We'll stay in. It's quite funny that everyone's always said that they want to, you know, be like bears and hibernate through winter, and I feel like we're going to get that, but with spring instead. I think we're all going to end up doing this sort of hibernating through spring and then coming out hopefully in the summer. And the sun will help to sort of burn everything away a bit as well. So yeah, that's my fingers are crossed for that anyway. So yeah, I'll leave it there, guys, and yeah, there we go. A bizarro layout. Totally mad. And yeah, if you want to check this out, it'll be in the new issue of Retro Hip magazine, and you can sign up for memberships. There is a window of when you can sign up to be a new membership, be like a new Crafty Babe. So if you head over to Retro Hip magazine's website, then you can have a little checkaroo, and you'll get the time frame on there for when you can apply for new memberships, and that'll mean that you'll get a copy of the magazine, and you can either have a digital copy or you can order a sort of physical copy. There are companies that do print it, so yeah, there's all like links and details on the website, so if you want to hop on over and check it out, then go for it. I'll pop the links and everything in the bottom of this video, so if you want to sort of go to the links from the websites or anything like that, then I'll leave it all in there. I'll leave in Andrea's Instagram details as well, so yes, you can check out her feed because it's awesome. And yeah, and I'll leave it there. Okay then, and I'll be back again soon with another scrappy mess. Okay, until next time, guys, take care. Lots of love to you and yours, and yeah, stay safe and stay indoors. Okay, lots of love. Bye.